What's up, y'all? Welcome to another reading. This one kind of felt not out of the blue. I knew I was going to do another YouTube reading soon enough, but I literally was doing something else right now and stopped and turned this on. So there's a sense of urgency with this message. Not that I don't abandon things and start a whole new task often, undiagnosed ADHD, but this feels like you can get back to whatever you were doing in a second, get this out. So here we are. And I am recording this on Zoom to hopefully streamline the process because last time with my phone, we had issues. We had lots of issues. So if you found yourself here, then perhaps there is a message you've been needing or some guidance you've asked for. As always, I like to start with some deep breaths, which we will do momentarily. And when we do that, feel free to set an intention in your mind or ask a question to see if this is for you. Obviously, you can stay regardless, but your discernment is key, okay? Never accept anything, whether it's me or anyone else. Never accept anything someone tells you as truth if it doesn't feel true for you. That is how you build self-trust and your intuition, your discernment. Someone needed to hear that because you keep listening to other people, even though you know what they're telling you is not what's true for you. Okay. Hands up to receive, palms down to ground. You decide what it is that you need right now. Eyes closed if you feel comfortable. And take 3 deep breaths in through the nose, sigh out through the mouth. Really let it out. Don't worry about how you sound. Last one, biggest one. Ooh, shake it out. I'm already feeling constriction in my throat. So either this is a message that someone does not want to get out, or you are feeling constricted when it comes to communication. It's not as tight as it can be, but it is still, it feels like the vision I'm getting is it feels like it's been breaking free of some sort of like cords, threads, and it's pulling. And there's just a few more that you got to just like to be fully free and able to communicate. So let's see. Okay, first let's start with, please reveal something about this person that the message is for as clarity. What can you tell me about this person that the message is for? You can use this as your confirmation that this message is for you. Okay, so we have fire energy, specifically Sag, Aries energy at the bottom, Libra energy at the top. We got these exact cards in my TikTok reading. Interesting. So if you haven't checked my TikTok, there is a reading. It's very dimly lit. I'm wearing a hoodie and I do an impromptu reading. It was recent. I did it this weekend. This is the same energy. Um, if this is for you, you are someone who is going through some deep emotional pain and heartache with the 3 of Swords here. There is some sorrow, trauma, grief that's coming up really heavily at this time, which I can feel it in my throat. It's like you need a gut cry. That's what it feels like when you have a lot of emotion that you're suppressing and instead of letting it out, you keep sort of swallowing it. That's what it feels like in my throat right now. Like there's a ball of energy that's waiting to be released. For some of you, even just like a growling scream. Like there's a lot of pent up energy right here that has to do with some heartbreak, some heartache. My left arm is also going a little numb right now. Um, there's resistance here. There is resistance to change. There is resistance to facing sort of, that's crazy. These are the exact same cards. I'm trying to decipher if it's the same message or if it's another interpretation. I really want to cry right now. Like some of y'all need to cry. And for multiple things. It's not one thing that's causing all this emotion. It's a lot of things because it feels like it again, there's a string, like a string pulling. And so it's unraveling through many different areas of your life, aspects of your life, memories of your life. You may think that it's about this one thing, but the more you dig, you realize, oh shit, it keeps going. Like there's more coming up. There have been a lot of delays and frustrations for you. There may have been a lot of obstacles that you needed to overcome and maybe are still overcoming. I just feel like a lot of chaos. There's a lot of chaotic energy, um, and things not moving as swiftly as you would like them to. And that is creating also more frustration because it's showing you that you are not in control, and that's not something you are a fan of. With the Two of Wands here, there are some sort of plans that have been falling apart. Um, and they're falling apart because you're not thinking big enough. They're falling apart because you keep trying to avoid taking some sort of risk. There is a risk at play here that you are refusing either to acknowledge or to follow through. You keep trying to play it safe by not taking action on something. And that is why nothing is happening, because you are avoiding the path that you are being destined to go down. And again, it feels like there is, oh my goodness. Ooh, it feels like there is a lot of fear. Yeah, you're not focused. You're not focused, and you're leaning too much into perfectionism. And that perfectionism, this was in this week's newsletter too. It's all fucking related. You are focusing on perfectionism because that is your form of self sabotage. You have such high standards and high expectations of yourself, which is not inherently a bad thing. However, you need to notice how you use that as a crutch to not do the things you know you're being called to do. Jackson, hey, hey, why are you doing that? Hey, hello, over here. Thank you. Anyway, that might be something too. You may allow yourself to just get distracted as soon as you start to pick up on things that are pointing you in the direction you need to be on. You look for distractions because what was I even saying? Perfectionism, self sabotage. The expectations that you are creating for yourself are unrealistic, and you know that. And instead of adjusting accordingly so that you can show up in whatever path you are being shown that scares you, you keep telling yourself, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I can't do this isn't for me, da da da. And what's frustrating is it feels like you know that's not true, but your mind is so good at convincing you otherwise. And you keep trying to believe your mind because then it gives you a hall pass on having to do the thing that you know you need to do. This pain, although it is something that you may carry for a long time, it's the mental hold that it has on you that's what's holding you back, because we got swords here, and We got swords here as well with the Ace of Swords. This is great, but it's also telling me, and then we got the King of Cups underneath, 10 of Wands underneath. Okay, let's pause right here. I mean, I know we just kind of transitioned into a reading, so if you're resonating with this, great. This is for you. There are mental blocks that are coming up quite a bit for you here. It's your mind that won't let you move forward. However, with the Ace, what did I say before? I think I said it incorrectly. But the Ace of Swords here, there is some breakthrough. There is some mental clarity, some insight, some truth that's going to help you see the way forward. Okay, this may have already happened for you, or it's happening at this time, but there is some sort of new idea or a vision or something that you are getting or have gotten that's going to give you whatever that missing piece is for you to move forward, regardless of this. There may be some resolution about what this was or why it had to happen the way it did that allows you to move forward. There may be some truths that are coming up for you, because it does feel like there may have been some illusions here as well, or not necessarily illusions, but information that you were not allowing yourself to accept. With the King of Cups here, this is someone who is incredibly devoted, which I think is also part of, yeah, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, fuck. You are someone who, I don't know that you even recognize how devoted you are, how heart-centered you are, how intuitive and supportive you are, how emotionally mature and balanced you are. You are the King of Cups, and what you are not recognizing, I wish I had Kleenex right now. What you are not recognizing is that your fears surrounding this, specifically with, I can't do this, I'm not worthy, you are not recognizing that the energy that is holding you back is the energy that makes you worthy. Because it's your devotion to whatever this grief is that is proof of how deeply you can love, how deeply you can show up for people. And maybe you do know this, and that's what scares you. But what's happening here is, instead of using your King of Cups energy for good, for lack of a better term, you're using it to defeat yourself with the 10 of Wands. You're taking this energy and imposing it into things out of obligation, out of a sense of responsibility. That's how devoted you are, that you would stay devoted to people, places, and things that you know are not beneficial for you. There is a reframe there that needs to happen. There's a detachment that needs to happen there. You may be someone who is overly self-sacrificing, someone who, again, there's a deep core wound of self-worth, someone who is still in a place of feeling like, I must do this, I must show up in this way in order to feel worthy of existing, even, which is a heavy one. We have the Magician in reverse underneath as well. So there may be some manipulation here. Your energy might be really scattered. See, illusions. I said that. Illusions. You are feeding an illusion. You are deceiving yourself. You are manipulating yourself out of the thing that you know you are meant to do. And the reason you are doing this is because whatever it is that you are being called to do is going to require a version of yourself that you haven't met yet, that you haven't fully embodied yet, that you know is possible. And you may have known this for a long time. This is a powerful presence. This is someone that, yeah, it's who you always needed. And you can't rationalize or believe that you could become that person. And what you're not seeing is you already are that person, but you need to release the version of you that believes otherwise, because that's what's holding you back. It's just fear. It's as deep and complex and innocent and obvious as that. It's fear. You may have been someone to really rush things in the past, and that was another sort of defense mechanism. You wanted to rush things because you were either afraid that you would be exposed if things went slow, or you wanted to rush it to sabotage it. You really clung to whatever helped you stay in your comfort zone, which is things not moving in your favor, not having to grow up, not having to take responsibility for your actions, not having to take a hard look at what led you here. I'm not saying everything is your fault. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is there may be some, there's, you've become really comfortable worrying about everyone else's responsibilities and hardships so that you didn't have to face your own. 10 of Wands, this is stress and exhaustion over prioritizing duty and obligation and burdens that are not necessarily yours. And you did that, whether it was consciously or not, because then there was no effort or energy to put into your own stuff. You liked to feel important. You liked to feel needed. You like to feel like there are people, as intense and dramatic as this sounds, there's a sense that you like to feel that there are people or things that cannot move forward without you. Because there is a deep longing to feel needed, to feel important, to feel loved, to feel a belonging, like a sense of belonging. What you're not seeing is by doing that, you have been attracting people who are using you for that very thing. And it may not even be conscious to them. Again, use your discernment, but you have been allowing people around you who are filling that void for you, which is not sustainable. And in the meantime, there's a burp coming up. In the meantime, you are filling that void for them where now they don't have to take care of their own responsibilities. Ooh. It's deep wounds of codependency. It's an unhealthy perspective that if someone is not codependent on you, you interpret that as they don't love me. They don't need me, therefore they don't love me, I'm not important to them. When in actuality, the opposite might be true. That's healthy love. That's healthy interdependent relationship. The two opposite ends of the spectrum is hyper independence and codependence. Neither one healthy and sustainable long term. In the middle is that healthy interdependence. And what you may be shown at this time is how you have convinced yourself of an idea of love, an idea of relationship that is not healthy, and you're sort of being, perhaps at this point, forcefully nudged to change your perspective and to pull away from anyone or anything that is feeding those dynamics, whether it's codependence or hyper independence. And perhaps you like to swing from one extreme to the other. You're being asked to see that sweet spot in the middle. Some of you use a lot of your resources to help others as well, and maybe feeling a lot of resentment because it felt like it was taken for granted. You are in a place with the Ten of Swords in reverse here, followed by Judgment. This is karmic. This is a long unwinding. This is a reckoning for you. With the Ten of Swords in reverse, you are going through a period of recovery and regeneration. You're pulling the swords out of your back, and you may have been deceived and backstabbed and betrayed by a lot of people in your life. This is a time of healing. This is a time of you learning the lessons that feel like they continuously come back around to show you what it is that keeps happening, to take responsibility for your role in that, to take responsibility for your role in your own suffering, to no longer blame the outcome of whatever is happening on everyone else, on everything else. You played a part in this too. This is you moving on even stronger than before because you are acquiring such depth and wisdom from these experiences, should you choose to fully see it and embrace it. But with the Judgment card here, it feels like it's going to happen whether you want it to or not. This is an awakening for you. This is a wake-up call for you. There are final decisions being made, which is why this may feel really heavy for you, because it's bigger than you. It's going to affect everyone that's connected to you. And that's not to put pressure on you, even though that's easier said than done. It's just to say, you may not recognize how your fears are going to severely affect the progress and purpose of people around you, because everything is connected. And you keep feeling this call so strongly because it's not just about you. And if you are someone who struggles with codependency, then let me reframe this for you in a way that might light a fire under your ass a little bit. You love to show up for others, and perhaps you like to show up for others and put that on a pedestal more than showing up for yourself, because you still have yet to fully embody the understanding of how important you are. And that's a journey, and that's your own to take. So let me offer you another perspective. By sabotaging yourself, by avoiding risk, by falling into old, familiar, comfortable patterns that you know are just going to keep you in this karmic loop, you are also sabotaging other people's trajectories that you are intertwined with. Now, the universe is plentiful and finds infinite possibilities. However, There is a reason that this is coming up so strongly for you. There is a reason I felt so much emotion. There is a reason I felt so much urgency to stop whatever I was doing, hop on here and do this. It's important. And if you can't yet grasp that it being important for you and you alone is enough to do it, then grasp the fact that it's not just about you and it is going to affect other people. You may be someone with the Page of Swords here and the Seven of Wands. You may be someone who is new to faith, someone who is exhausted and yet curious. Perhaps there is something that you really want to become more knowledgeable about. Maybe it is a spiritual practice, maybe it is divination, even. Because for whoever this is, you are naturally intuitive. You are someone who has strong instincts and awareness and guidance within you. I just don't think you trust it. I don't know that you fully trust yourself. And that's part of this Seven of Wands energy too. Boundaries are really important for you because, again, when I mentioned earlier, there is a lot of power within your presence that you are blind to. And you may like sometimes be like, I know it, I got something. I know that, but I don't think you understand the amount of power that you embody because there have been a lot of people in your life who have done a really good job at making you forget, of asserting and projecting their own insecurities onto you and making that your own. See, the thing is, they always saw your power. They saw it before you did. And somehow they have managed to manipulate you into forgetting and to have you dim yourself down, play yourself small, feel like a victim when that's never who you have been. That's never who you are. And you're starting to remember little by little, you're starting to remember. And the exhaustion is also coming from having to stand your ground. And you may be having to defend yourself and challenge those closest to you because I'm seeing family members, I'm seeing childhood friends, I'm seeing people who feel really uncomfortable with the fact that you are changing from the person that they were always able to manipulate and take advantage of. And that's what always happens. That's why boundaries are so difficult and yet so telling, because the people who feel some type of way are usually people who are realizing I can't get what I want out of them anymore. They're waking up. They're standing their ground. They're learning how to stick up for themselves. They're learning how to speak up for themselves. That was that throat chakra I was feeling too. Some of you are holding on to a lot of deep resentment from childhood, even of people not protecting you, people not showing up for you, people not speaking up for you. And perhaps that was always something you did for other people because you knew what it felt like when no one would show up. And yet, no one still has done that for you. And the reason for that is because it was always meant to be you. You are meant to take that energy that you so freely give to other people, the way you show up for other people, that fierceness, that power, that all encompassing force to be reckoned with energy that you so easily embody when it comes to defending other people, and use it for yourself. There is some discrepancy, some disconnect about being able to be that person for yourself. But it's necessary. It is very necessary. Yeah, we also have Page of Pentacles in reverse and the World in reverse. The Hierophant in reverse. There's the Ace of Wands. I feel like I said Ace of Wands earlier. This might sound a little prickly to hear. However, you know me, you know how I do. There is immaturity that you are holding on to because it allows you to show up in destructive ways. With the Page of Pentacles here in reverse, you may be someone who is overly focused on missed opportunities or something that you feel was a missed opportunity or a missed chance at something. Okay. Something or someone made you feel like you were never going to amount to anything, and you took that and ran with it. You have allowed that to become a part of your identity, whether you consciously see it or not. And so you continuously seek out prospects, opportunities, people, situations that you know are not for you and that you know will not be successful because it keeps the story going. And then you get to sit back and be like, see, I told you. See, I knew it. See, and it's like, boo boo, because you did that. Because you refused to do something different. Because unconsciously you knew you would fail at this, or you knew this wasn't going to be aligned, or you knew that this was going to create chaos, and you chose it anyway because that is the hell that you know. And you are so adamant on sticking to the hell that you know rather than stepping into a heaven that you don't. That's the World card in reversed. That's the Hierophant in reverse. Your beliefs are being challenged heavily right now. You have adopted an identity of being the person who strives for their goals, but not the person who actually accomplishes them. You have identified yourself as the person who works really hard, who sacrifices. You are the starving artist. You are allowing all of these ideas of being the person who constantly goes after the thing but doesn't get it to be the be all end all of your identity and who you are. Sirens outside. This is a huge wake up call for you. What happens if you let go of the identity that's attached to being the person always working hard towards the thing and become the person with the thing? The person who not only does it, but sustains it and now creates it for others. You keep trying to do some shortcut, or you keep trying to refuse to close out a life cycle or learn some sort of soul lesson that keeps you wrapped around this fucked up merry-go-round with the World card in reverse. And it has to do with you challenging your personal beliefs, you challenging your beliefs around commitment with the Hierophant here. You are not committed to others. You are not committed to yourself. You are not committed to the goals that you say you want for yourself. You tell yourself you are, but then you sabotage. You show up in ways that you know will not yield results. And you know that. You know that, even if you don't know that, because you are so afraid of success. It's not failure that you fear because you're used to that. You're used to going after things and it falling through. You're used to making grand strides and thinking like, I'm going to go for this and it falling flat. You're used to that. So you're comfortable with that. What you're not used to is going after something, taking a leap of faith and it actually working. And that's where the fear sets in, because now you wonder, like, I don't know what to do now. Like, I've never been here before. Can I even hold this thing? Am I strong enough to keep fueling this? Am I able to sustain this? Ace of Wands, the Chariot. You are as capable as you believe yourself to be. There are new opportunities, there is growth, there is passion, there is everything that you have been saying that you want for yourself available to you. And it can start moving forward very quickly. Interesting. Interesting. The Hierophant just fell off and then turned upright. You are so capable of this. And here come the emotions again. You are so capable of this, but you don't even see it. Why are y'all making me cry? There is some spiritual wisdom that is helping you through this. There is something that you are learning at this time, or allowing yourself to deepen your knowledge of, again, with your, it has to do with spirituality, religion, something along your belief systems that's helping you with this. And I think you know that should whatever decision you make, no, should you make the decision to move forward in the path less traveled, the one that scares you, you know things are going to move forward really quickly, and that scares you. And what you are being guided to remember is you are capable of going down that path. You do not need to be perfect. You do not have to have all the answers. Illusions. These are all illusions. Release the illusions. There is not a single person who goes down a path and has all the answers. Everyone is winging it. Everyone is just doing their best. You need to allow yourself to have grace and patience. You need to give yourself room to fall and get back up and try again. You need to give yourself the courage of figuring it out and understanding that when you are in alignment, the universe will continuously bring people, opportunities, experiences to help you stay in alignment. You are not doing this alone. And perhaps that's part of this spiritual growth and knowledge and understanding that you're getting. You may be someone who is not super spiritually inclined. If you're watching this, then maybe you're starting to be. But it feels like you've been experiencing things perhaps over the last couple of years that you can't deny anymore, that there is something else going on. Like there is something that you may not understand, but its presence is palpable. And even though it may create more questions, it's also showing you that you are not in this alone. Release that burden, release that fear of, I have to make the right move, I have to make the right decision. Otherwise, this is going to happen or that's going to happen. Ask for help from your guides. Start to pray. Find a spiritual practice that helps you remember that you are in co-creation in this experience. Of course, you don't have all the answers. You're not meant to, but you have people who do know the answers. They can see beyond what you can perceive. And they're constantly giving you signs. They're constantly giving you hints. But are you paying attention? And are you listening? Are you allowing that guidance to show you which way to go? Or do you keep acting like you don't know what's going on because you refuse to accept a different story than the one you have held on to? Yeah, you need to release control. You need to release control. And I know that control helped keep you safe for a long time, but control also held you back and created havoc as well. Some of y'all are stubborn as fuck, and you need to just understand. And again, it's not to judge or shame you. It's just to tell yourself, like, all right, I know I'm stubborn. And I know I'm stubborn because I feel like when I don't have control, bad shit happens because A, B, C, and D happened in my life. And I do not want to experience that again. That is a very human thing to feel. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. What are you going to do? You're going to go become a recluse, like off in the middle of nowhere and just throw this life away? No, no. You are meant to live a life beyond your wildest imagination. You are meant to experience love deeper than you have ever seen. You are meant to open doors for other people that they couldn't even fathom. But all of that is going to require you to step out of your comfort zone, to allow yourself to surrender to the uncertainty, to understand, I don't know what the fuck is happening and I don't know what's next. What I do know is I'll figure it out. What I do know is no matter what, I'll be okay. What I do know is I'm not traveling alone and I am highly favored and always protected. And because I have strong intuition and discernment, anything that does not have my best intentions at heart will not even get close to me. You need to start being the authority in your life. You've given your power away for way too long. Other people, other circumstances, you let people decide who you are. You let people decide what you do. You let other people take control of your life, and you're being asked to take control back. It's your life. Stop giving it away. It is your life, and you may not have valued your life much. Let's be real. But your life is worth more than you can imagine, and it's worth a lot to other people. Even if you don't see the value of you or your life, there are people who are depending on you, who are relying on you. And that's not your responsibility, but it is to remind you that what you choose for yourself is going to affect others as well. So that same excuse that you use to fuel those codependent relationships, flip it. Yeah, maybe I might be showing up this way because this person needs me and da, da, da. Okay, well, this person needs you too. The only difference is they're not asking you to sacrifice yourself in order to show up for them. They're asking you to actually step into who you are. And that's how you can tell the difference between healthy relationships and unhealthy codependent relationships. One side is going to ask you to sacrifice yourself to show up for them the way they need. And the other side is not going to ask of you anything other than to be yourself, to show up for yourself. That is the difference. All right, there's some advice moving forward for this person. Some advice moving forward, please. Interesting, got this in today's daily message. Okay, be careful of temptation, old addictions, old temptations coming up. Yeah, your heart is opening up. You're aligning with what you are passionate about. Repeating fours might be significant as well. We got firm foundation, rest and rejuvenate, the waiting game, and wisdom. We literally got one of each sections of the deck. Except for emotional. Interesting. Except for the emotions. You are building a firm foundation within yourself at this time. That's why you're being asked to really get into the cracks, to get into every little thing, to make sure that it is still strong enough for you to build on. You are being asked to relax your mind. Your mind is on overdrive, okay? Your thoughts are not always true. The things that your mind says is not always your voice. Challenge it. Put it to rest. Put it away. Something I like to do in my mind when I start overthinking is I say, what's the next thought? And it like short circuits because now you're challenging the story. So it's like, and I'm a creative. I write, like I come up with stories like this. It's great creatively. It's not so great in your personal life. And so When my mind does what it does so easily, which is see, notice, experience one thing, it's like a whole story is formed. And when I catch myself, I say, okay, so what's our next thought? And then it's like a blank space. It's like, oh, I don't know where to go because you just called me out. Some of you may need to adopt a meditation practice or some sort of practice that allows you to get back into your body. There is divine timing at play here. This is a spiritual card, the waiting game. You are not behind. You are right on time. Trust in the unfolding. You can't move any quicker or slower than you are right now, okay? You're moving at the pace that you need in order to fully root into what you are creating. And wisdom. Again, for some of you, the saying is when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So for some of you, there may be a teacher that is entering your life or a mentor or someone who can help you through this. There may be someone who specializes in whatever it is that you want to gain more knowledge in. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to seek their guidance. You may be really used to weathering the storm alone, suffering in silence, not allowing people to know what's going on with you, and it's working against you. You are not meant to go through this by yourself. Finding balance. See with the eyes of love. You are meant to have help, and you do have help, but whether or not you accept it is something else. That's on you. So the next time you want to complain about some shit, before you do that, did I have help? Was there opportunities that I could have asked for help here and I didn't? Again, take responsibility for your role and how things are playing out. Some last words of guidance, please. Everything is falling on the floor. So I don't know what that means, but I felt inclined to mention that. Oh, okay. Celebrate little things. Begin again. Bottom of the deck, take a field trip when you least expect. Some of you may just need to change scenery, go on a trip somewhere, travel. You also may be really hard on yourself. So you're being reminded like there are little wins that happen every day. Notice them, make note of them. And for some of you, again, take it as it resonates. But there is something within your life that you're being asked to just start over, just begin again. You may be overly focused on trying to pick up where you left off, but where you left off may not be the most beneficial environment. So just start over. Give yourself the opportunity to begin again. And when you least expect it, you'll notice that things are shifting, things are changing, and things are in alignment. Things always happen when you least expect. All right. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for trusting me with this reading. As always, if you would like a one-on-one, you can book that with me. I will be unavailable for the month of March. So try to get that booking if you want a one-on-one prior, or just know that I won't be back and able to do readings until April if you decide to wait. What else? If you are seeing this before January 20th, we are still accepting travelers for my Thailand retreat, which is why I'll be gone for all of March. So if that interests you, I've included the link to that below, as well as the other readings and things I post on TikTok, on Instagram. If you're not already on there, take a look because there may be more messages for you if this really hit home for you and you resonated with my energy. And last but certainly not least, I do weekly oracle readings and astrological forecasts on my newsletter, my Substack newsletter, Return to Self. So the link for that is also below. And we're about to dive into the new series, which is going to focus primarily on shadow work. So if that's something else that you felt really inclined to dive deeper in, then that might be helpful for you. So thank you again for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for receiving this message. I hope that it gave you the guidance that you needed, the clarity that you needed, and perhaps even the motivation to choose differently for yourself, to be brave, and to give yourself more credit than you do because you are capable. You are capable. You just have to believe that. All right.